What's up, Airsofters? Like I said in my last video, it's 2021, new me, and I'm going to keep pushing out new content for you guys. In today's video, I'm going to discuss the parts I chose to buy to build my DSG ARP9. So for those who haven't followed me over the years through social media, you know that the ARP9 has a special place in my heart. But with that said, this has also broken my heart many times. After less than 6 months of having this gun, I dropped it maybe 2-3 feet during a scrimmage match, and literally the upper receiver cracked in half. Told myself I would never purchase a polymer gun again, but I really love the ARP9. Coincidentally, when I was in California, I was able to purchase the upper metal receiver from the ARP556 and slap it on my ARP9, so I'll never come across a splitting frame again. This ARP9 is already custom built. It has completely different internals, and it's made for snappy trigger response. Shout out to the Real Deal Airsoft. He is my tech and I recommend him to anybody. But I realized I'm shooting for snappiness, but I'm not really getting the rate of fire one will come to know to having a submachine gun. So I told myself, and I told Jake from the Real Deal Airsoft, we're gonna take the internals in here that we custom built, put it into my side grate, and we're gonna make this a DSG monster. I told Jake, listen, money ain't an issue. I want something that could compete with an Umbrella Armory build, or at least comparable to it, without breaking the bank too much, but I don't mind spending a little bit more money for certain parts. And if you guys also follow me through social media, you guys also know I've done a little tech work myself. Never do that again. But I do realize when opening a gearbox, reassembling it, where I feel like certain innovations with Airsoft haven't progressed the way I thought it would over the years. So when we're gonna switch back to this table and show you the parts, I'm going to explain why I chose certain parts, and I'm gonna tell you why Jake from the Real Deal Airsoft told me to select these certain parts. Stay tuned. All right, everybody, we're gonna start this off with one of the major stars of the show. It's going to be this SHS dual sector gear. Highly recommended from my tech. SHS is a reputable brand. Nothing more to say here, just SHS. Next is an SHS tappet plate. Next from SHS, metal bushings, stainless steel bushings. Was told to use bushings, not bearings. I personally don't know why, but that's what's recommended to me, and that's what's going into the build. Next, shims. Perfect shim job. These all shims. SHS, of course. So now, one that might be controversial for some of the viewers, we've decided to go for an M160 spring. As you can see here, M160. I know some people might say it might be too much might be too stressed on the gearbox and everything. I'm gonna get to that why we decided to choose this particular spring. We'll get back to that. Next, which I personally feel like it isn't really discussed, is the Maxx model adjustable air nozzle. Now, I'm gonna spend some time to talk about why I chose this particular air nozzle. So, if everybody who's familiar with teching, they must be familiar with the Maxx model tracer units, the hop-up tracer units. I have 2 of those in each of my guns. On the ARP9, there was no feeding issues, but on my gray, there was severe feeding issues where it was almost unusable. Just to find out that it had something to do with the nozzle length. Me, I'm a type of man that likes to work smart, not hard. So to me, it only made sense, instead of having to be in a position where I had to take out the gearbox to re-put a different size air nozzle to hopefully correct the feeding issues, I opted for getting an adjustable one where I put it once, cry once, basically. So this will also make anyone who's taking my guns easier, or anyone who's taking their own guns easier. If they're having feeding issues due to the air nozzle, you just gotta twist it to adjust the length. With the Maxx models, one of the issues is that, when you use a Maxx model hop-ups, the air nozzle will be a little bit too long. So this will give me room to work with, to play for a little bit, to see which is the right distance for the air nozzle and to BB for it to feed properly. And that's why I chose this one. This was about $15, I think. And we're gonna see how this works out. Next, we got from SHS 13x1 set gears. I can't personally say I know much about gear ratios and to everything else, but whoever's watching this, maybe if you see that these parts, all these parts I'm showing that's going to my build make sense, just drop a comment of what you suggest, or like if you think it's good or not, and you know, this so we can start the conversation. Next, I am partially sponsored by AirTech Studios, and they sent me over this thing. This is the barrel stabilizer for the ARP9. So basically, as it shows, it'll give me tighter groupings by keeping the barrel stable. Cool. After that, we're going to install the speed trigger converter for the ARP9 trigger, also sponsored by AirTech Studios. So basically, this turns your stock ARP9 trigger to a speed trigger by decreasing the distance from each pole. So we're gonna see how this works out in this build, and you know, we'll follow up on that one. Now for the piston head and all that stuff, those three parts, that's going to be coming from Jake, Real Deal Airsoft. So go to his channel for his follow-up video on the explanation of that part that he's gonna install. I do not have that part here. I will not discuss about that part because it's an unreleased product, but it's a very high performance product that he will have the authorization to discuss about on his channel when he installs it. So now, moving on to the spicy stuff. That's the spicy stuff. I was recommended to get the Infinity Motors U Series, Ultimate Series. This is a long style motor. And the reason why I was told to get this specific motor is because it turns at 28 TPA. The current motor in my ARP9 goes at 22. I was told that getting a higher TPA motor will best complement this DSG build. So another star of the show is going to be boom. I know the packaging is terrible because this is not the original packaging. I couldn't find the box that I received it. But this video is also sponsored by Perun Airsoft. And I'm going to be dropping the Perun V2 optical Mosfet in this DSG build. And maybe we're thinking about doing a binary trigger. But we're going to see how the performance goes. We'll come back to that. But definitely check out Perun V2. This is a great, less expensive alternative to Titan, Leviathan, and has the same comparable features and specs. Now, for what I personally think is the star of the show, and the reason why I decided to go ahead and do this DSG build, boom. This is the Lilacs Prometheus EG Hard Gear Frame. Now, the minute they announced this product, it only came out in 6mm, and I wanted to wait for the 8mm. Finally came out, copped it as soon as it came out. there's a lot of controversy with this gearbox because of the material that they chose to build it. It's very unclear, and it's hard for me to find a concise answer, but overall consensus that this is made out of zinc. So I don't know how, I don't honestly know, like, I'm not a chemist, or, you know, I don't know metal composition was strong or whatever. But one of the reasons why I chose this gearbox is because the wire management. So instead of your wires from that's going from your Mosfet to your motor, it's not running inside where it was susceptible to getting torn by the top of the motor. It runs outside. It protects your wires. Also, it's pre-radius. It's a split shell and it's quick change. And to me, as a consumer, not a tech, this made sense to me to get this for my DSG build, because it was also said that it was reinforced. I am also going to do a review on this before I ship this out to Jake to have everything installed. But this is what I think is the star of the show. Let's see how everything's going to turn out in terms of the build. But guys, this is the build I'm going to do for my DSG ARP9. Let's put some focus back on that. Honestly, I'm looking forward to it. So we're just gonna see how this goes, and stay tuned. Definitely go over to the Real Deal Airsoft to see updates on this pending build. See you guys soon.